you have to put that snap ring in now, because if you put your hub in, you're not gonna have a way to put that snap ring in. So the way I did this earlier is put this in here. Don't drop everything. I got my needle nose pliers. These seem to work the best to do this anyways. They're not the appropriate tool, but... And then I'm using this to just push on the snap ring. That way it goes in. Try not to put your hand in there because it might pinch you. But once you squeeze it enough, you know, you can just kind of force it and just pop it in. So. And then you can just make sure that it's all the way in. All right. So now we're gonna do the same thing here, but we're gonna push the hub. Now for this, you want to make sure that you don't want to hold it all the way over here. You want something to hold in the middle. So I'll use like this one here, because that's gonna push right in this metal piece in the middle. Bring you back over here. And same thing, when you push this all the way, this is gonna sit right against that bearing, so it's gonna pretty much come to a complete stop. Gonna put a little bit of WD-40, and I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. And just make sure you move that around to its center. I'm gonna put that in there. And you see I'm just barely pumping this jack. You shouldn't have to crank it if everything is going in right. Don't force anything, so it should go under pretty good. Like there, I know it's right at the end because it's getting tight. So that's good. All right. And there you have it. So you have your bearing all the way in. You should be able to turn it by hand. And we're ready to go put it back in the car. Alrighty, so got our bearing pressed into our hub, so we're ready to pretty much put this all back together. While you're here, you can check your ball joint. This looks okay. Feels still tight. I'm going to drive the little chisel in here. Just ever slightly there. Just that way. So driving that in there just helps you push that ball joint through. So once it's in there, put that bolt right in there. You should be able to pretty much just like tap it in there. Then your CV shaft. We're gonna go ahead and guide it back in to your hub. Shouldn't be hard to get in there. And you can get your bolts in here. Get your nut in here for your ball joint screw. And then we're gonna tighten up the bolts here for your spindle to strap. And don't forget your nut here for your tie rod end. If you're using regular, like a ratchet, and it starts spinning, there's a little and don't forget your ABS sensor. There's a little indentation there for like an Allen wrench. So if you're doing this, you can just use a wrench and an Allen wrench to hold that centerpiece. Usually with the impact gun, it just, the speed will overcome it and tighten it down. But all right, and then finally we're gonna this up. Now, as far as I found out, I called the local parts store and they gave me a rating of 80 foot-pounds on here. I don't know if that's true, but that sounds about right. So I'm gonna go with 80 foot-pounds in those. I'm gonna grab the brakes and then we'll finish up putting the brakes. Alright, so just gonna clean this off a little bit more. Here's my caliper bracket, so that's why I did it separately, because you know, if you're doing your brakes, then you're gonna have to separate it from your caliper. So gonna take brake pads off here, and these aren't too bad. I mean, they still have a lot of life left, considering I was doing the bearings, so the rotors, they look kind of old, crusty. Just a quick clean in here. If you want to, you can always spray these, clean them up really good, make them look really nice. I am not gonna opt for that today. One, my caliper paint, I run out. The one I like to use with the little brush. So, two, you know, if you paint these, then you have to let them dry, and I want to just get it done here. But if you have time, you know, paint them, let it dry. They'll look a lot nicer. Even if you just paint them black, they'll look really nice. So one thing, get your pins out here. Just be careful not to rip your boots. And clean them out. And get some lube in them. You can tell when these are dry, you push them in and they don't really push back out. So always lubricate these. You don't want them to seize up, especially if you live where there's a lot of rain. Next, gonna grab the brake pad. Slide it in. Get my other pad, and I'm just putting some lube here on the tabs that's going to touch the metal. Keep it from squeaking. All right. And so you just put them sideways and flip them in, and they'll slide right in. Let me grab my brake rotor. Now, if you're not replacing these, you can get them resurfaced probably at your local parts store. I don't know how much they charge anymore. They used to be $15, but everything is double the price nowadays, so I don't know honestly if it's still $15 or not. I would assume it's probably higher. If you order your parts online, you can save quite a bit more money. Just remember you won't have that warranty that they give you. But sometimes it's more of a hassle, but I think these rotors were like $20 each. So I'd rather pay that for brand new ones than pay the same for them to resurface them, and you know, sometimes people that work there, they don't really know how to do it, or they kind of get taught not like correct way. So you get them resurfaced, and then they're out of rounds, so you end up having to redo it or buy new rotors anyways, and you know, at that point. So, but anyways, you could get that done. So we're gonna put our bracket in there. I put some Loctite in our bolts here. Alright, so now grab your caliper. Now you do have to compress the caliper piston in there, since we have new pads in there, and I mean they're about halfway worn out, so pretty sure they probably got these done not too long ago, so they were still really good. But so you can get a C-clamp this way, or you can get one of those special tools, rent it out, and then get your money back once you return it. When you're pushing it, just, you know, go slowly. Let that fluid kind of make its way back. If you try to crank it right away, it gets hard, but just kind of let it do its thing there for a second. And I just use the old brake pad to do it evenly. Right, so gonna go ahead and spray the caliper off a little bit. And we're gonna put some lubricant on the tabs that are gonna touch the pads. And right around the piston where it's gonna touch the pads as well. Just wiping some of that extra brake cleaner off there on the bottom. And get your bolts here, get them ready. Just a little dab of Loctite. And then this should, you can squeeze your pads in there. And get your bolts lined up. And we'll tighten these up. All right. And I'm just gonna do a last quick little spray on here, wipe these out. And don't forget to put this little bolt for your brake hose back. And that almost does it. I'm just gonna get the wheels back in here, lower the car down, and then we'll take it for a drive. Alright, last thing, make sure you torque your bolts, lug nuts. Alright guys, well that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. We'll see you on the next one.